Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2023 Open House for Spanish and Shadowing in Latin America. We're the Shadow Abroad Foundation. I'm happy to have you all here. I just want to give a few minutes as I see a lot of people are just hopping on as we are starting today's session. We are live. Most of us here on the panel are in Latin America, and I will introduce everybody in a minute. As we are just getting everybody settled and still popping in, let's give it a minute or so. Again, if you are looking for the Spanish and Shadowing program in Latin America through the Shadow Abroad Foundation, you're absolutely in the right place. We will begin shortly. And just to give you a few tips, if you would like to ask any questions, the chat box is open so that you can do so. The staff online with me today is helping me, and they will be answering all of your questions online, and then we'll be reading some as well further as we go into our session today. Okay, I just want to welcome everybody. We're going to start in about 30 seconds or so. Again, if you have any questions, chat box is open. And this is the Spanish and Shadowing in Latin America Open House. All right, hopefully everybody is good. And we are just seeing people still popping in. It looks like we have lots and lots of people here today. So great to have you. Welcome, everyone. All right, let's get started. I see a lot of people are popping in. We've got a full house today, so that's great. Full house, open house for the Spanish and Shadowing program in Latin America. Let's start off by saying hello. Our team is made up currently of these people that I'm posting online, and these are the people that you will have contact with at the beginning of your program or pre-program. And I just want to welcome the staff that is currently here with me on the line, and that is Cassandra Brooks. Hola, Cassie.
Hola.
Cassandra is our senior advisor. Cassandra comes to us from Scotland, but she is currently living in Valparaíso in Chile. And we also have on the line Jimena. Hola, Jime.
Hola.
¿Qué tal? Jimena is our admissions officer, and she is helping us today as well, answering your questions on the chat box. Jimena will take your admissions interview most likely, and she helps us in that area. And also with me today is Carolina. Hola, Caro.
Hi, everyone.
And Carolina is the student services head. She's the assistant director, and she's my right-hand man on this presentation here today. I'm a little technologically challenged, but that's why Carolina is with me all the time and helping me. So bear with us, hoping that this goes smoothly on the technical side. If not, we'll bother Carolina there, but off we go. As I said earlier, if you'd like to ask questions, if there's something that I'm not covering that you'd like me to talk about, I'm happy to do so. Just put your questions in the chat box. I will try to read them out, or the staff will help me with that. And if not, we'll answer them directly in the chat box if for any reason we don't get to answer your questions on the live event. We will definitely send you a quick email after the event to let you know what the answers to those questions could be. All right, so let's start tonight's presentation, Open House. Welcome, everybody. Let's tell you a little bit about who we are, what the Shadow Abroad Foundation does, what we do, and why we exist, okay? Our first program was all the way back in 2002. About 20 years ago, we started this program with only 3 students, and the program had 3 students only from Chicago. All 3 of them were from Chicago. So we called that group the Chicago Hope Group, named after the TV series of way back then. Hopefully some of you remember, but you were probably too young to. But yeah, so that was our first program in 2002. Since then, we've had over 900 students going through the program, and we're so proud that we have been a part of their learning experience. These are today's doctors. They are graduates now. And, we still keep in touch and we talk to them, occasionally. And they tell us how this program really changed their lives. Being able to speak Spanish, being able to communicate and create that bond with their patients really has changed the way that they are able to practice medicine. It's opened so many doors for them. And we are, again, really happy to be a part of that, not only because we are helping to provide those tools, but also because one day they'll help our family and friends or someone we know perhaps in the States. And that's very comforting to know that that option is there for them. Okay, we're going to dive in. I'm going to tell you a little bit about, again, why we exist and what is involved in this program. And we will start, first of all, by talking about what is happening in the US right now. The US has the world's second largest Spanish speaking population, and a lot of people don't realize that number is so large. That means that there are more Spanish speakers in the US than there are in this country that we're in Chile. A lot more. Okay, more than Argentina, more than in Peru, more than in Ecuador, more than in any country in Latin America, only second to Mexico. All right, so considering that, for sure, we know that healthcare providers will encounter a Spanish-speaking patient when they are graduates, when they're working. Okay, and that's why we've seen that there is a need, and we would like to be a part of what is going to bridge that language gap that we've seen come to crisis mode through COVID, and especially in the last few years. So when a healthcare provider, when a doctor, when a nurse, when a dentist, anybody is able to connect with their patient in their language or in a language that they're comfortable speaking, it makes that patient feel like a welcome part of the community rather than being a burden. Unfortunately, a lot of times when we are looking at the situation of people who don't speak the language, whether it's, Spanish or any other language, these patients feel somewhat like a burden, not only to the system, but to their families, to their friends, to their support system in general, because they feel like they always have to ask for help, right? And it's so uncomfortable. I mean, I put myself in that situation. I saw my parents go through that situation, and I know some of the people in our panel today have also experienced that with their friends and their families. Having to seek medical attention when we're at our most vulnerable, when we're ill, when we're not sure what's going on, we're a little scared already. And I think that even with going to our doctor that we speak English, already there is somewhat of a barrier with regards to what do I say, what do I ask, how do I approach this, how do I explain my symptoms, am I understanding what's happening? Now, add to that the burden of not being able to communicate in the language. I can only imagine the feeling. I saw my parents, sorry, going through that. I saw family, I saw friends going through that, and I was there in the room. I was the one helping them out. But I never crossed my mind how uncomfortable that must have been for them, you know? I remember seeing my mom turn a little pink and red sometimes when she was at the doctor's with me because, you know, possibly she was avoiding giving some information that I would have to translate as her daughter. And that's not the way things should be. Children, we want to do the best for our family. We want to do the best for our friends and our parents, but we shouldn't have to be in a situation where, we have to invade someone's privacy. And that's just unfortunate. So, when we're looking at this, we want to make sure that we're providing healthcare providers, future healthcare providers, you students that are here today, with the tools that you need to change that. Okay, so not only from the perspective of the patient and to be able to assist, but especially for you. So the Shadow Abroad Foundation exists specifically to provide you with that tool, specifically to make you the best professional that you can be. Because when there is direct communication with your patient, you're going to create bond. I think it's great that we have so many systems out there, so many pieces of assistance, if you will. We have language lines, translators, interpreters, gadgets, and cell phones, and all sorts of things that in this wonderful age of technology help us and assist us to get through that barrier. But what happens, and I'm speaking as a first person here, I am also a medical interpreter and I've seen this. What happens is that the patient seems to create a bond with the interpreter rather than with the health provider. And we all know that that's not ideal. Then, if you think of gadgets and cell phones and translators and all that kind of thing, there is a delay, right? There is a delay. There is false cognates that happen, things that aren't translated appropriately. There are so many different aspects to the language that you can't learn from a book and that can't be programmed into some gadget. So a lot of this is lost in translation. And that is something that you can really improve on in the healthcare in the United States, in the healthcare system, with your patients, with your future patients, and with Spanish-speaking population that is just going to grow, and we know that that's going to happen. All right, so that's why we exist. That's why we're here. That's why this program is here to provide you with the tools so that you can help bridge that gap as well. Okay, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for candidates to this program that are linked to that have that will, that might, that want, that desire to create that bond. Okay, and we're telling you this, and it's easy for us to say it. I always say it's always, good for us to say it, but this is being recognized by so many entities in the United States right now. This quote that I have on the screen right now is from the AMA Journal of Ethics. All right. And they are seeing this as well. They are also recognizing this issue that I'm talking about. This quote says, "Doctors must face today's demographic realities." All right, Spanish-speaking doctor fills a critical nationwide gap, opening the doors of communication between doctor and patient. All right, because a lot of the time, you are getting ready for med school, you're working really hard, and I understand that it's not always simple to become fluent in Spanish, but let's consider the amount of people that there are in the US. Okay, let's add to that the fact that medicine is considered a science, but isn't it also a humanity, considering that it deals with human beings, with people? All right, and so isn't communication one of the things that we should also prioritize within the medical field? I would absolutely agree to that, and I hope that you do too. And I think that when we look at it from that perspective, when we think of medicine being a science that assists people, we can't forget this huge piece, the elephant in the room, communications. And I think that this is something that a lot of medical schools are looking at today, and they are adding in the curriculums and in the courses a lot of aspects of communication and how to deal with a lot of the oral parts, or the spoken part, or that bond creating. But we're forgetting that, in the United States today, there is a different reality. And that reality is that you are going to come across Spanish-speaking patients. And that today, this problem is critical, and we need to help bridge that. Okay, and so I congratulate all of you that are here today and that are listening to me today, because this is what we are hoping to do. And those of you that are here realize that this is something that needs to be addressed as well. So I congratulate you for understanding that as well. Like I said, our mission is to prepare future medical professionals for the future of America and for what America in the future is going to look like. All right. And so I hope that with this, I've been able to provide you with a little bit of insight on why we do what we do, why Spanish fluency is, especially in the medical area, is so important to us, and why we exist as a program. And hopefully it is also your mission to be a prepared medical professional, to be able to attend to all of those patients that you will be finding in your future as American doctors as well, and healthcare professionals in general. Again, I like to tell you all about this, but I think it's also a good idea that you listen to some students who have done this program, who've gone through this program, so you can get a little bit of an idea from the perspective of your own peers as to what it was like for them to do a program like this. So I have a short video clip that I'd like to show you, and then we'll continue our conversation. If there is anything that you'd like to ask in the meantime, remember the chat box is open and we will answer your questions as we go along. So let me present this quick video for you.
This program, it was honestly awesome. You know, you get here and you're so nervous. It was my first time out of the country. I had no idea what to expect, what I was going to be doing, anything. I didn't know any Spanish before I came here. But when I got here, like, everyone was so supportive. I learned Spanish, I feel like, very well. You get here and you're in this entirely new place, and
Hey, Patty, I think you need to unmute.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah, we
Okay.
lost the audio of the video for a moment there.
I see. Okay, let me just go back a little bit. Can you hear it now?
Yes, and if you could turn it up a little bit, that would be awesome.
But when I got here, like, everyone was so supportive. I learned Spanish, I feel like, very well. You get here and you're in this entirely new place, and you know, it's like you have to learn Spanish, and you do, because you are immersed.
I chose this program specifically since it combines medicine and Spanish as well, and I'm currently a pre-med student. So this program was really unique that it offered Spanish classes as well as shadowing opportunities. And what I really took out of it was the shadowing opportunities. The school did a really great job of setting all of us up for great doctors to shadow with and to learn.
I love my classes. Classes are awesome, but definitely my favorite part of the program has been actually working and shadowing doctors in the hospitals here. It's awesome experience that you just really can't get in the classroom. Studying Spanish in the classroom is one thing, but actually living it out on the streets and in hospitals with people who, you know, speak it like that's their language. That's a totally different thing.
I was one of the students who was chosen to do a few 12-hour shifts in the emergency room. I saw a lot of really cool things and really excited that I got to do that. I also got to see a few surgeries with a gastroenterologist. So yeah, my experience here has been really great, and I wish I could stay longer, but yeah, everything's been great.
Hola, me llamo Kendall, soy de Dallas, Texas, y estoy estudiando biología y filosofía
Sorry, can you all hear me? I'm just going to see if I can fix the audio, because I'm getting a couple of messages saying that our audio is off. So give me just a quick second. And let me see if I can fix this. Okay. Let's see if this is any better.
Universidad de Texas at Austin. I really wanted to see what the healthcare system was like in a different country. So my first shadowing experience, I just sat down in the clinic and watched the doctor kind of do his thing. I saw a surgery where they removed the entire gallbladder. I saw one gastric sleeve surgery. It was really, really cool. And just, it was very awesome to see the dynamic between all the doctors and the patients as well. Like in the clinical setting, it's so different than in the States. My classes at Acela are very small, just a couple of people. We usually talk through a couple different topics using the verbs or the grammar that we're learning that day. We talk about really cool and interesting issues that are happening in the country. The other day we talked about like survival tactics. It's conversations you would have in real life, not just like ordering at a restaurant.
Hola, soy Grace, and I'm studying biology and chemistry at the University of Illinois. I love the classes because it forces you to talk all the time, and that's something that I've never had before in the classroom. And the teachers are super good at kind of hearing the things we're struggling with, so they accommodate you in during class with things that we're having a lot of trouble with. And yeah, I've just seen my speaking abilities just skyrocket while being here, and yeah, the teachers are phenomenal. I really like shadowing and just comparing kind of different healthcare systems because I've only seen one in my life. So just seeing the relationships with doctors and patients here, I really like how it's closer, and it's something that I definitely want to strive for, like in my own practice or just experiences at home.
All right. So there was a little bit of background for you to understand from the perspective of a peer, of someone who has already done the program, a little bit of what it's like. I apologize for the technical difficulties. If anybody wants a copy of the video or anything like that, we're happy to forward it to just let us know. But I wanted you to have a little bit of a peek to understand, again, from the perspective of somebody who's done the program, what it's like. And you probably saw and heard that things happen really quickly, right? They get to speak very quickly. And that happens because you're immersed. And we always say that language and culture go hand in hand. We believe that you can't learn everything, all of the nuances of a language just studying from a textbook and from abroad. I think it's wonderful that you're able to do that, but it's not always ideal. So our program comes to provide you with a lot of progress, quick learning, advancing very quickly in a very short period of time. So this program will provide you language skills that will allow you to advance in 3 weeks what you would in about a semester of Spanish back home. And also with the difference that these classes are small. There are 8 people per class as a maximum, and you get to have a lot of talking time, not only in class, but when you go out. Okay, when you are away from the classroom, you're also immersed in the culture. All right, so this will provide you also cultural empathy, understanding not only the way people communicate with the words, but also in the gestures. And one of the things we do is provide you with orientation sessions that are once a month, 6 months before arrival. We start those and we tell you all about the paperwork you have to bring in, and we tell you how things are different here culturally. Okay, so for example, what do you need to shadow? Well, you need a lab coat and you need scrubs, and you need to make sure your hair is pulled back, and you need to make sure that your shoes are clean, because that is a sign of respect. For example, in Latin America, if your shoes are all dirty, it's almost like you are not caring about the person that you're dealing with. And same goes for, you know, ripped jeans and that kind of thing. So it's not just about understanding the words, it's about understanding why the words are said, how the words are said, and what does that mean for somebody. Okay, there is a college transcript that you can also get so that you can stay on track for graduating on time. And that is available to you if things work out for you with your undergrad studies. We always recommend that you visit your homeschool advisor to find out about that, although a lot of students decide to keep their transcripts for grad school, and that's perfectly fine too. The program is short. You don't need to skip a whole semester. Our main program is a 9-week program. If anybody would like to look into other options, you can speak to your advisor. But we are going to talk today about the 9-week program, and I will tell you all about that. Again, if you are looking for a little bit longer or a little bit shorter because of your time restrictions, you can let your advisor with our program know about that, and we can guide you through that. The program also has a couple of what we call extras. Okay, now this is a Spanish fluency program. And our goal is to get you as fluent as possible, as quickly as possible. But we want to do this as well in a clinical setting so that you are able to understand and see what it's like for a Spanish-speaking healthcare provider dealing with patients. Okay, what does that relationship look like? How do they communicate? How do healthcare providers communicate with their patients? And you can see that through our shadowing sessions. Okay, the shadowing sessions are there specifically so that you are able to put all of this into context, be able to understand what is it about the people in Chile, in Argentina, in Peru, in Ecuador that makes them the way they are. What are the prevalent illnesses? What are some of the areas that will influence specific patients to have, for example, high blood pressure or diabetes or, you know, stroke and cardiac issues and that kind of thing. Why is that? What is it about this culture that makes this more prevalent? And there you have the research project that will open the doors to understand some of that, as well as looking into traditional medicine and alternative medicines that are very I would say popular in Latin American countries. And it's really important to understand that. Not too long ago, I was talking to a student that had done the program actually a couple of years ago. And the student was telling me, you know, Patty, it makes sense now. Now it really makes sense because, you know, when I was there, I kept hearing the doctor asking over and over the same questions. Have you taken any medications? And the patient said no, but the doctor insisted. And with that, she understood at the end of the conversation because the doctor said, are you sure you haven't taken anything? You know, my grandmother used to make me this concoction, you know, the typical mom or grandma remedy that had this, you know, herbs in it. Have you, oh yeah, I tried that, but it really didn't work. Ah, there's the problem. Okay. And this student was telling me, she said, you know, honestly, Patty, I would have never thought myself of asking that question or really digging into that part, because once you've asked once, maybe twice, I would have left it at that. But now I understand that this is very typical in Latin American countries. And so that's something that we have to look into. It's not considered, you know, vitamins are not considered medication, and a lot of the herbal remedies are not considered medication. So that's something that we have to look into as well. Okay, and that research will also provide you with a lot of understanding with regards to, for example, what is it about this part of the people that may have different habits? For example, hygiene. Is water readily available? Do they have that habit? Is that something that I have to make sure that they understand the importance of it? Not because they don't know about it, but because the habit isn't there because they've never had, for example, water to available to them. So all of that is put together in that shadowing and that research. So you're understanding not only the language and the communication from the perspective of words, of the linguistics, of the academics, but also of the culture. And then there is a volunteering experience. It's not necessarily in the clinical setting, but it's your way of saying, you know, I was here. Carving your name in this world and saying, you know, I was here and I'm giving back to the community that has accepted me and that has hosted me. All right. So all of this is put together. We take you outside of your comfort zone. And a lot of people say, well, Patty, why do you do this in Latin America? Because all of this that I just said is not in any book. Okay, you can't get that from a book. You can't get that from a classroom. And that is really what we're aiming for. Okay, so be sure to look into that and to understand that in 9 weeks, you will advance approximately 3 semesters of Spanish language classes. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily equal that much, because I can assure you that many of you have done 4 years of Spanish in high school, perhaps. But can you communicate? I will assure you, though, that after 9 weeks and 3 levels, you will be able to communicate very well. And I'm not just saying it. You heard the students saying it, that they're able to converse, that they're able to hold their own. And that's what's important here. You will be traveling, you will be pushing yourself out of the comfort out of your comfort zone, which will improve your self-confidence. We see students coming in and they're very shy at first, but then they understand a lot of things, cultural things, but also you learn a lot about yourself and how much you're able to do. And you surprise yourself so much. And I think that, you know, as I'm saying this, I see my staff saying, because we see it when you arrive. We see you, you know, being a little bit shy. And as you start to understand about yourself and understand about how much you can actually do, you change, you know, you blossom, you grow, and that self-confidence really comes out, and you are transformed, not only in the language that you're speaking now, but as a person. Not only that, but you are going to make a network of friends that you can share these travel stories with. But you have to remember, these are also your future colleagues, right? People that down the road, you're going to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, remember me from down in Peru? We went to Machu Picchu together. And that will be a wonderful thing to be able to have, to be able to pick up that phone and start your networking right away. Okay, there's so much more to this program. And, you know, I wish I could talk forever, but I'm going to let somebody else do the talking. I'm going to let Dr. Rodriguez tell you a little bit about the program. This video is in Spanish. There are subtitles, so if you are watching on a phone or something like that, just make sure that your screen is big so that you can follow the subtitles. Okay, here we go.
Hola, soy el doctor Leonardo Rodríguez, médico cirujano, dedicado a la cirugía de la obesidad y de la diabetes. En nuestro centro, en donde un grupo de profesionales manejan a nuestros pacientes, hemos tenido la experiencia hermosa de interactuar con escenas desde hace varios años. Eso ha significado que nuestros alumnos
Okay, sorry, it seems that we're having some technical difficulty, so I'm going to stop sharing this and Carolina is going to help me because it seems that we are not being able to hear the video very well. It seems to be lagging, so bear with us for a few moments and we'll get Carolina to show that video for you. She's just setting it up. In the meantime, again, if you'd like to ask any questions, the chat box is open. While Carolina sets it up, maybe Cassandra, do you have any questions from the chat box that you'd like me to answer?
Yeah, Patty, we have a lot of questions. The first one is from Sarah. She is asking if she needs a visa to be able to participate in this program.
That's a really good question, Sarah. If you have a US passport, an American passport, you do not need a visa to travel to any of the locations that our program is in. You will just enter as a tourist because you are in each of the locations for less than 90 days. So you don't need a visa. If you are holding a passport from any other country, you will need to be sure to connect with your local embassy to make sure and find out what the particulars are. But again, if you're holding a US passport, you will not need a visa. I see that Carolina has the video set up almost here. We're just seeing some black areas on top of it right now, but I think she's just fixing that for us right now.
There, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Hola, soy el doctor Leonardo Rodríguez, médico cirujano dedicado a la cirugía de la obesidad y de la diabetes. En nuestro centro, en donde un grupo de profesionales manejan a nuestros pacientes, hemos tenido la experiencia hermosa de interactuar con ESELA desde hace varios años. Eso ha significado que nuestros alumnos han tenido la posibilidad de ver a un equipo profesional médico interactuando con un paciente en los distintos ambientes, tanto en la consulta médica como en la sala de operaciones cuando les hacemos una cirugía a los pacientes. Ellos tienen la oportunidad de conocer el lenguaje técnico médico, pero también aquel coloquial, aquel que permite acercar al profesional de la salud a nuestro paciente en forma respetuosa, pero afectuosa siempre.
Okay, great. Since we are on here, there's a video clip, Carolina, of Laura, one of our academic team members. Perhaps you can show that as well right away. It's a very short video, probably a minute long. So that was Dr. Rodriguez. He was telling you a little bit about shadowing in Latin America and what it's like and the experience he's had. But this is Laura. She is the director of the school in Buenos Aires. She is part of our academic team as well. And she tells you a little bit about what to expect with regards to the program. So if you can go ahead and play that, Caro, that would be great.
Hola, estamos aquí con Laura, ella es directora de la escuela en Buenos Aires. Lo que nosotros proponemos en nuestras escuelas es que puedan aprender a hablar rápido. Entonces, aunque no sepas nada, el primer día de clase te vas a ir con un montón de herramientas para poder sobrevivir, comprar, y esa primera semana te va a ayudar a sentar las bases que, bueno, van a ser muy útiles para los próximos niveles. No hay que tener miedo, al contrario, aprender una nueva lengua también nos permite abrir todo un horizonte a una cultura, a una forma de pensar diferente y a observar el mundo de una manera distinta. Entonces, nuestro trabajo no es solo como lingüistas o como profesores de idiomas, sino también como embajadores de una cultura, ¿no?, que abrimos a los estudiantes.
All right, so there we had Laura telling us, don't be afraid. This program is for everyone. Everyone who is in college, is in a pre-health, pre-med track, or a recent graduate as well. And there are no restrictions with regards to your level of Spanish. So whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, there is something for you here in Latin America so that you can bridge that gap, that language gap. And that's why we're here. Okay, let me just continue to share then my presentation, and we'll be right with you here. Give me just one quick second. Okay, so in the meantime, while I'm putting this together, are there any other questions that I can answer?
Yes, we actually have one on the chat box. Do we need to be an undergraduate?
Right, that's exactly what I was just talking about. You don't need to have an undergraduate degree, but you need to be a pre-health, pre-med track student. Okay, I hope that answers the question, but if there's any other questions out there, I'm happy to take them.
Yeah, Patty, we have a question from Daniel. He's asking if all of the flights are included.
Okay, that's a great question, Daniel, as well. The flights that are included in this program are the flights between programs. So it's your responsibility to get to the first location and back home from the final location, but anything in between is covered by the program. We'll get there in a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about what the program includes, what it doesn't, in a few minutes, but I hope that is helpful. Let me go ahead and continue to share my screen again. And so there are several questions that I was just looking at the chat box while the videos were going about scholarships and how to pay for this. And there are some scholarships available. That's the great news. We are a not-for-profit organization, and we're able to give you some partial scholarships. You are able to request that from your advisor, and they will explain to you how to go about applying for those. They're limited and they are partial scholarships, but they are there to help you to reach the goal. Our goal again is, and our mission is to get you as fluent as possible in Spanish. And if you are chosen, and if you are provided an invitation to join this program, we are happy to assist in any way we can. If you are an AMSA member, we are also an AMSA Alliance member, and there are some benefits that you can request. There are some scholarships as well. And there is what we can do for you is we can provide you with a discount for your admission and your registration. So ask your advisor about it when you are talking to us, and we can sort of help you out with that. But a lot of students have been asking us, is there, financial aid, financial assistance? We don't have financial aid per se directly with our program. We always say, reach out to your homeschool advisor and find out if there are any scholarships, any grants available. We know that through COVID, there were a lot of funds that were available to a lot of our students who were able to get them. Several of our students do apply for financial assistance, and they are successful with that. But what we can do as a not-for-profit organization is that we will upfront the costs of the program for you. And there is a 0% interest payment plan, which means, like I said, we'll upfront the cost of the program, and you will pay us back in installments. And those again are 0% interest. There is no extra fee. This doesn't go through any banks. It goes directly through us. So there's no paperwork required. So it's quite more simple than having to go through banking and all of that. So if you are interested in help with finances and you are interested in applying to this student-friendly payment plan, you can definitely talk to the advisors about it as well. Okay. The other question that comes up a lot in the chat box, I didn't see any questions this time around, but I know that perhaps some people are just shy. Some of you are watching with your family, with your friends out there. And one of the biggest concerns is, where are you going? You're going where? To South America, where? A lot of people are not very familiar with what it's like down here. What is South America like, and is it safe? Yes. It is safe. Safety first is what we always say for our students. And all of our schools are located in upper middle class neighborhoods because we want our students to be able to walk around without having to look over their shoulder. We always say, travel safe, travel smart, travel wise. Use your, I guess, the logic that you would use to travel anywhere in the world, even within the United States. Okay, keep your valuables at home, don't be flashing money, and be aware of your surroundings, and you should be fine. Our program has been running for 20 years and we haven't had any kind of problems with regards to safety. One of the, I think, biggest things in the countries or in the cities that we've selected could possibly be petty theft. But again, it's all about the way you also take care of yourself, take care of your belongings and your surroundings, and you should be fine. I think a lot of our students will tell us things like, this is better than at home, I feel safer here. The cities that you will be visiting are smaller cities, and they are very safe, and we take care of having that as a big part of what we do. When you arrive at each location, you will have an orientation session on the first day that will explain to you where to go, how to get from one place to another, where to find ATM machines, restaurants, and any kind of service that you might be required to have. And we tell you a little bit about the local safety tips for each of the locations. But again, it's all about making sure that you do take those basic precautions, okay, as you would traveling to any part of the world, again, even within the United States. Also, I want to just talk a little bit about the program as well. The classes are interactive, which means that you're going to be able to use a lot of the language that you learn. There are only a few students per class, so you will have a lot of talk time. And then also, when you leave the classroom, you are forced to speak English. Sorry, Spanish. No, you don't want to speak English. Yeah, so that's something that is really important to us. All levels are available from Spanish 101 to Spanish 302. We also have a heritage program that may be suitable for some of you that learn the language by speaking it at home. The medical shadowing is AAMC compliant, which means that it's all hands off, and the idea and the objective of the medical shadowing is for you to broaden your medical vocabulary and understand the cultural empathy part of things, and understanding the culture and why people do the things that they do. Healthcare research is there also to be a little more in touch with the people and the area, and understanding your future Latino patients from another perspective, not only from, again, the language and the words, but also with the customs and what people are used to doing, and also the volunteering, which is your opportunity to be altruistic, your opportunity to leave your footprint in the sand, to say, I was here and I am going to give back to the community. So hopefully you will understand that those things will also be a part of what this program is and a part of your mission. We want to tell you that our 2023 program includes 3 countries. The main program is 3 countries. We have Ecuador, Peru, and Chile. So in Ecuador, the city that you will visit is Quito. In Peru, it is Cusco, where Machu Picchu is, for some of you that don't know. And in Chile, you will visit Viña del Mar, which is a coastal town just about 90 minutes away from the capital of Santiago. So in this case, if you are taking the 9-week program, the program will start in Quito. So it's your responsibility to get to Quito, but the flight between Ecuador and Peru is included, and the flight between Peru and Chile is included. You will have to fly back from Santiago de Chile to the United States. It includes 3 Spanish courses, which means if you are a complete beginner, you would start at Spanish 101, you would take 101, 102, and 201. Okay, in the 9 weeks. Medical shadowing is included, of course, the research project and volunteering. Like I said, travel between locations is also included, and we will include 2 nights of hotel stay in each location. This program does not include accommodations because we leave that open for every student to decide on their own what suits each of the personalities best. Some people, you know, like to stay in a hotel. Some people would rather have you know, a homestay. They would rather stay with family. We do these orientation sessions, like I said, 6 months in advance. So you'll get to know all of the people that are in the program. And what happens is a lot of students will be like, hey, so where are you traveling from? Hey, I'm from New York. I'm going to be traveling out of here. And then you can also say, yes, this is something that I'd like to do. This is one of the options I have of travel, and I would like to travel with you guys. So let's get together and let's meet at, I don't know, let's meet at JFK and take our flights together. And maybe those same people might say, hey, why don't we share an Airbnb? And that's fine too. So that option is open for all of you, depending on your wants, desires, requirements, and your budgets. So all of that is open, but we will provide you 2 nights of hotel stays in each of the locations so that you can arrive all together. You can get to know one another a little bit better. And also you get to look at the location of where you've made the reservation and be sure that that location is suitable for you. When you are seeking accommodations, we are happy to help you out. We are happy to let you know what areas are better, what transportation is available in that area, and that's something that is also an option. So the other thing we've included for the 2023 program is half-day weekend excursions in each of the locations. So yes, it is a lot of fun as well. Okay, because we always say it's a lot of hard work and you will be very, very busy. A lot of our students will tell us, no, I'm used to the hard work. And when they're here, what happens? Hey, Patty, I'm tired. Jimena, I'm pooped. Carolina, when do we have a day off? And, we hear this all of the time. But it's a very busy time, but it's also a lot of fun. And I want to show you a little bit of that fun because we talk a lot about the hard work that's going to happen. Let me just hit play here. So we talk about the hard work that happens. We talk about the shadowing. We talk about the classes. There's 20 hours of a week of classes, plus another several hours of shadowing. But you can see that everybody in the photos are smiling, and there's a lot of places to visit and lots of fun things to do as well. So you can see photos of shadowing, but also of people, look, snow, mountains, surfing, Machu Picchu. This particular one that just went by was in a hyperbaric chamber, working with children, lots of studying as well, and making sure that you visit all of the fun parts. You saw one in the snow, now you're seeing one of them surfing. There's so many activities to do. Medical shadowing will be different everywhere. It really is something to look forward to. It really is different. these particular photos are of groups that just finished a few weeks ago. Actually, no, not a few weeks ago, about a week ago. They've just made their way back to the United States. So as you can see, some of them are still wearing face masks. That kind of thing is different, and you know, we don't see that all the time in our older photos, so we wanted to update some of our photos and show you a little bit about what it looks like. What does the program look like? What are they doing? How does it feel? Can I be one of those people? I want to be there in Machu Picchu, and making all of these friends and understanding a little bit about our culture and our language. So I hope that that has been insightful for you. I want to remind you that we do have some dates open. Our winter session, the 9-week program, is January 2nd to March 10th. Our summer one program is May 28th to July 28th. That is our most popular program. So if those are the dates that you are seeking, the winter session and the summer session, summer one sessions, are usually the ones that go first. So if you are looking at those dates to travel, I suggest that you put in your applications as soon as possible. Summer 2 starts June 18th and runs to August 18th. We have a fall semester, September 10th to November 10th. And if you are interested in a gap year, you can definitely contact us about any of the above start dates. Okay, so those are the dates, and I want to thank all of you. I know that there are several questions in the chat box that I know that our staff has been trying to answer, but we will be able to answer them for you. If you have any questions, you might want to visit our websites, SpanishInMedicine.com or shadowabroad.com. We'll have the information for you. And I have one more thing to add. Okay, if you are new to the program, if it's your first time coming here, we will waive your application fee. Just tell them, you know, I was at the open house the other day, and we'll waive the application fee. But not only that, the 2023 program is launching tomorrow with its new prices, but we will honor the 2022 prices for anybody that was here at this open house. So just let your advisor know, hey, I was at the open house and Patty said I could have the 2022 prices. All right, so hopefully that helps a little bit. I know that, you know, we have to find that money as students. And again, we're a not-for-profit organization, so we are going to try to help you as much as possible. And you can apply for those scholarships, and you can be one of those people in the photos that is going to be helpful to someone in the future. I always like to thank everybody that was here. I did so at the beginning of this, but if you came in a little bit late, I just want to thank everybody that was present, because I feel that you are looking to be a part of the solution. You are looking to bridge that gap for people. And like I said, I'm the daughter of immigrant parents, and I was there with them when they had to go to the doctor, and I had to be the translator, and to the bank and everywhere else. And I know it was difficult for them. And I remember, you know, when my parents would come home from work, pick me up from, you know, my after school program, and they would go to English classes at the school at night school. I don't know how much actually sunk in after, you know, them working all afternoon and, you know, all day, and picking me up and then going back home and making sure that food was ready for the next day and everything else. I thought it was really cool because I got to see the school at night, and none of my other classmates did. So I thought it was just like the bomb. But I know it was hard for them. They wanted to be a part of the community, right? They wanted to step forward and be you know, considered and not a burden. And I know that that's something that a lot of people have to go through. And it's not fun when you are a health professional wondering, could I have done something extra? Could I have gone a little bit further if I had been able to communicate with this patient? So hopefully your mission is similar to ours, to be able to communicate and create that bond with your future patients. Again, I apologize for the technical inconveniences. If anybody would like more information, you can visit our website and we will be happy to provide you more information. If you'd like more information, you can also write information in the chat box along with your email address, and we are happy to get one of the advisors to connect with you and ask if there's anything we can provide you with. Okay, it has been a real pleasure to have all of you here. Hopefully I'll see some of you in Latin America very soon. Un abrazo desde Chile. Buenas noches. Good night.